game's already started. We don't have much time.
This is the Hound Pits pub. Closed for business. Half the district marked off as dead from the plague. We're right under the Lord Regent's nose, and he don't know a thing.
Yeah, we are sneaky bobikis. This doesn't really have an intro
Of course,
because
if anyone finds out what we're up to, the Watch will break in with swords drawn. And now that you've escaped, the Lord Regent's going to be tearing the city apart.
Uh-oh. Well, now that we're free.
Take you up to meet Admiral Havelock and the rest of the Royalists. The Admiral's a man to be reckoned with. If anyone can help you find that missing girl, Lady Emily, and clear your name, he can.
I'm glad to hear it. Man, that was a sweet docking. I'm impressed. It's hard to dock things like that. I mean, if you've ever had the experience of docking like a boat from like Boy Scouts or something like that. Hey, what's up, dude? I'm checking my other videos real quick to make sure that they're cooking good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I did a boo-boo. So you can accidentally watch a video that's currently being recorded with OBS. And if you do that, it really fucks up the player. And that's what I just did. So, Mobby, but I just stopped it. It's all looking good. Anyway, if you've ever had the opportunity to dock a boat with like Boy Scouts or like sailing camp or something like that, it's amazing how much they talk about. Could not find this item. Fuck. Alright, we'll figure that out later. It's amazing how when you are trying to take the opportunity to go towards the dock, turn the boat, and understand that in a car, you know, you have so much friction on the street that you don't slide it anywhere. It's a talent if you can slide a car. But on a boat, sliding it well is also a talent in the fact that you have to curve and turn it and take the whole water into consideration, the wind into consideration, because the ground is slippery, it's wet. So it was amazing how he's just driving straight in. He's like, okay, quick turn. Like, I don't think he could actually do that because he'd have to have swung out wide and gone in at an angle, unless the boat was designed with some special like thing in mind that allowed him to do that. Otherwise, it's crazy. It's insane. All right, we're back in. So we're gonna go. Whoop, little lag. So we're gonna do some story here, and then once we do that, we'll start the timer. Once we get through some story. Oh, we're meeting at a bar. I'm so excited. I jumped on his head. Shit's going on inside here. Hold on, I can put my ear to the wall. Hello? Ding, 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 ding. Fine. Fine. You don't have to be there and answer me when I ding, ding, and oh. Jerk. Can't reach and touch anything. Oh, it makes me so bummed. It's always so much fun when you get to do stuff like that. Thank you for letting me goof off. I appreciate it. Last episode I was talking about the glory of being able to talk to somebody who had a very successful blog. Super fun. Oh, I can get on the barrel? Yeah. I'm just crouched in a corner. Hi-oh!
I expect they're hard at work in there. Best join them. They'll help you get whoever really...
Hello! I guess if you're gonna plan a coup, a bar is a good place to do it.
We can continue this later, Lord Pendleton.
Hi!
The man of the hour is here.
I'm an hour man.
The
Clock, really.
Havelock, a true servant of the Empire, like you.
Man, that
Until
gun.
the Lord Regent purged those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim on the throne.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group.
So,
We all
it is a coup.
equals here at the Hound Pits pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Corporal.
That water is not
We're
moving.
going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny.
It's frozen
and
beer.
restoring the throne.
At risk of
cream
execution,
beer.
we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in a fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Sorry, you must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered.
I guess
But
so.
before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero.
Piero.
He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
You know how sometimes, like,
Piero's as much an artist as a technician. He's going to be crafting the gear you'll need. Go talk to him, and then get some sleep. We can talk more when you've rested.
Apricot. Jellies? Man, they just got shit laying around here. Yes, tell me your woes, sir. Tell them to me. I will pour you another drink.
Good to have you with us. Nothing against the others, but...
Sorry. I got excited. I'm not very good at being a bartender yet. Let's go ahead and meet Piero. Slide. Slide. Piero!
I'll be crafting your weapons and gear. All custom work. For you, I will create the tools of a master assassin.
Cool. I don't know if I'll be killing very many people. Probably not killing any of the people I'm supposed to kill.
This cannot happen now. The tank of whale oil's run out.
Ah!
Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. The oil's unstable. When it explodes, there's a terrible mess.
So, a second solution from an article for Prominent Natural by Piero Joplin. It is through no fault of my own that the average citizen has expressed a preference for Sokolov's elixir over my own formula. So does Piero's remedy, a name I did not choose if you must know the truth. The public has spoken its usual message of idiocy. Spending the coin on the means of selective Sokolov's formula over mine, which I believe to be equal, if not superior. Much has been made over the popularity of these concoctions as a means of resisting this remarkable new plague. I say remarkable because the strand works with an efficiency we have not seen in the history of the Empire. This plague, now making its way through the city of Dunwall, is unrivaled in its effectiveness. I've studied it within the blood of those afflicted and is nearly perfect. Elegant, in fact. And while it is true that Piero's remedy and Sokolov's elixir are known to protect the body against the plague equally, mine has properties not fully understood, which relate to the mind itself and the spirit, and it is in this way that my formula wins out. Here is where one should pay attention to this contest. For you, Sokolov's elixir, with its emphasis on the brute animal body, is a crass goo better suited for livestock. The subtle and secret variance in the key ingredients making up Piero's remedy, sure that it would work on the higher functions that separate humankind from the mindless blue-jawed hagfish swimming in the Haven River. I will be using that. Not Sokolov's. No, I will not sign off on these verses. A bag of powdered crystal, Tivian ore. What's wrong with all the metals and crystal? King Sparrow feathers. If you need feathers, sacrifice your own pillow. Maybe at the academy, everything you needed was paid by tariff and handed out willy-nilly, but this is my bar, or what's left of it. And we're operating on a budget. We're running low on oil, food, elixir, building materials, and everything else, so you've got to slow down. While I'm footing the bill, I will not approve your purchases unless they're absolutely required. No more copper wire, special herbs. If you need those things, go out and scavenge them. Half the city is in ruins, so no one is going to miss any of the old crap you need. Apparently he owned this bar. That's kind of cool. Ah, stealing some of your herbs. Star chart. Nice. We're just like stealing shit from him. Ow, I hit... One of the advantages of Sokolov's technologies is that they share the same magnetic socket for the tanks of processed whale oil they use as fuel. When a tank is exhausted, another can be plugged into with ease. The process is simple enough that any common workman or even the lower guardsman of the city watch can handle the task. It supplies the arc pylon and wall of light security systems, as well as the powered carriages used for transport by those few who are wealthy enough to afford them. The only obvious downside of Sokolov's design is the volatility of the tanks themselves. A few incidents have occurred, resulting in damaged property or bodily harm. So, and it's filled with whale oil. So you remember how you saw that whale that was being carted through in the beginning of the game? Well, that's an old-fashioned way of getting your power, because we're burning whale oil. Ah. Remarkably, each specimen I had the pleasure of studying during the voyage possessed some minor variants of physiology. On the second leg of the trip, east of Tibia, the crew hauled aboard a female, some 42 feet in length. I estimate she weighed 35 tons, and the ship sat low, rocking side to side through the night with her thrashing. By candlelight, I took her apart. Ow! Sketching and taking notes against her bellowing, I cut into the mass of tentacles around her mouth. Whales here are different. Within, I found row upon row of teeth and baleen running along the upper jaw. Through this broom-like structure, I assume she filtered food from the water that was too small to be chewed. More books to read, because Skyrim style. Commissioned by the Lord Regent in the face of growing plague crisis, the dead counter is a position that will only be given to officers. Dead counter is gross. Usually, bring out your dead is kind of the thing. Bring out your dead, usually of junior or middle grades, and most matters of edict. These officers would defer to the acting officer on duty. However, any dead counter will have the command in situations related to the plague and the handling of the dead, including those with late-stage plague symptoms called weepers. In common parlance, starting in the month of rain, interested officers may apply for the test and, if accepted, for the 2-week training tour. Pay will be administered in coin and rations of elixir at 1.5 normal pay grade. Oh, they're paying people in elixir. How is that for owning your, like, having this company store own your soul? Really? Of course I've attempted to improve upon Sokol's designs, of course, and why not? After all, it is thinking the influence small way by our time together at the Academy. We're all part of a community, striving to and not the mysteries of the cosmos. Even those among us who possess the greatest minds are often led to a fruitful line of consideration by, and how does one say it, our intellectual subordinates. Sokolov is no exception to this, despite the glamour of genius he cast over the aristocracy. And further, it is true that many of my experiments have failed. No need to gossip about it behind my back in your social clubs in the very chamber of the Academy itself. Great ambition requires risks. You may laugh now at my door to nowhere, but someday you will not. Your children will see it as commonly as you see the electric lamps lighting our streets at night. But a few short years ago, you would have laughed at Sokolov's arc pile on a wall of light. Your laughter, your condescending smiles, they are nothing but evidence of your own limited imagination. Here, here, sir. Whale oil processing. Out to sea, they secure the beast with hooks, which, ow. Some of our buoys kept the whale from diving deep. Once it's caught, a larger hook is driven through the tail, ow, which is used to hoist the creature out through a chute. They moan and bellow for some time. Men get them onto deck, then lift them into the scaffolding overhead. The ship adjusts its prow and returns to port in Dunwell, where the crew works on the great creature, slicing off the fattiest parts while it still lives. Sheesh! Man, we still just so much to read. Sokolov no longer has the upper hand with regard to supplies of whale oil. The good admiral has paid for the installation of my own system, which will enable me to work in this place. Oil tank dispenser, when activated, will produce an empty vessel for filling. When the empty tank is held near the oil tank refill pump, the magnetic attractor should take the tank and lock it in the correct configuration. Using the lever, we'll begin the refilling process. Once refilling is completed, the tank can be removed and placed in service. Extreme caution must be used in handling full tanks, because they are quite unstable. The system is sound and well engineered. It appears that the Creep's oil has done something correctly for once. Woo! I killed him by dropping oil on his head. Oh man, this game, that's really funny. Sorry about that, dudes.
I'll be crafting your
Skip.
Can you get a new tank from upstairs, please?
Grab more shit.
Careful.
Grab more shit.
Unstable. When it explodes, there's a terrible mess.
I love that. It allows you to kill off the NPCs. That's something really cool that I don't see often.
The Academy teaches that absurd idea that the energy in whale oil arises from the need to maintain life functions
Ooh,
at
this is
certain
interesting.
ocean depths. The pressure and the cold are too much to endure without it. I speculate that a human being might, by a process of adaptation, produce high-energy humors in the body. I could build a tank that would slowly increase pressure on a subject over a long period of time, and then observe them for years if need be, to see if the formulation of energetic substance is developed. Surely the Empress would be able to furnish me with facilities subject to the necessary legal amnesty.
What a crazy son of a bitch, huh? Let's just take people and shove them into a tube and see how they like it. Jeez. Resume. Taking this one. Oh, God. Interesting choice.
Perfect. Now plug it in.
Careful.
Just get it near the receptacle. Magnetism. Perfect. Thank you, Carl.
You're welcome. Sorry about killing you earlier.
The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face. But this mask will mean terror to them. If you just hold still, the fit must be precise. There.
You know how when you breathe into like a cotton swab in your face? That's gotta be annoying.
There. Better now? I could create more for you.
More masks?
Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city.
Oh, there we go. You fixed it.
And I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need. Tell me what I can make for you.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So he's not charging me. He's just like, we need money to do shit. Okay. So, grenades, bullets, spring razors, trap that can be placed on nearly any surface, crossbow accuracy, range, reload, combat sleep dart. I love this one because it means if someone sees you, you can hit them with the dart and they just fall asleep immediately. It's pretty cool. And since right now I'm planning to be a, you know, non-crazy son of a bitch, we're gonna go on sleep darts.
You must be exhausted.
Now,
I advise that you get some sleep. Your
thanks,
life
Doc.
will get even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can.
All right, Doc. Boop.
Sleep well.
So this is gonna be a little bit of an oddity. So you guys watched any of the Dunwall City trials or know anything about this game? I took a nap. So I went upstairs to the bed and I took a nap. Ah, health and fitness. Eerie light. What? The door is barred. Must be a safety precaution. Let's go downstairs for breakfast. Whoa! There's a tree understairs. Something's not right. This is, I think, some of my... Oh, yeah, baby. Look, the water goes up. However, if you were to do this, you go down.
Hello, Corbin.
Whoa!
Your life has taken a turn, has it not?
I fell.
The Empress is dead. Her precious daughter Emily is lost somewhere in the city, and you will play a pivotal role in the days to come.
Thank you.
For this, I have chosen you and drawn you into the void. I am the outsider,
Boop.
and this is my mark. There are forces in the world and beyond the world, great forces that men call magic, and now these forces will serve your will. Use this newfound power, my gift to you. Come find me.
To execute a fast and stealthy forward dash through the world, you can also move it to upward, but the distance is reduced. Aiming at ledges would allow you to blink forward and climb up. So I'm guessing I came from over here originally. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's just floating. I love this effect. It's so cool looking. So this is... Whoa! That was close. Oh, great. Yeah, just rub it in my face, you jerk. Here is the spiritual remedy. You can use that as a mana potion. You cannot savor, you cannot savor, you cannot savor. Ooh. It's like it's... This is in my mind or something. So see how whenever I do my thing, I get a little bit of mana back? I mentioned this in the last thing, but you're actually able to, Whoa. Read. I'm very sad. They say you're dead like mother, but I'm going to put this note in a bottle and throw it in the river because I do not believe them. Ooh, interesting. That looks like Lord Pendleton, doesn't it? As does that. Why did he change clothes? What is this? Black crab, whale, oil, fish. That's where the power comes from. Look at the silly fishy. Huh. Interesting decor. I wonder who that is. Bit of a burnt face, but alright. Anywho's, you always have the ability to teleport. Because it will bring back your mana like that. Whoa, he's in mid-throw. So, I don't know what that is. Little dudes. Huh. Oh, whoa, check these guys out. Oh, that doesn't look fun. Oh, I love this. So, these guys are probably sick people. I mean, look at their faces and stuff. They look kind of... Yeah, he's coughing up blood. And they're firing incinerable, probably to destroy it. Like the stuff. Whale oil on their back. Some really cool walking machine thing. Sick. Huh. Eee! Stairs are broken. Oh, that's awesome. So if it's light and it's lit by candles... Hi, outsider. I'm inside now.
The days that follow, your trials will be great, Corvo. Seek the ancient runes bearing my mark in the lonely places of your world, and at shrines raised in my name. These runes will grant you powers beyond those of other men.
Besides teleporting.
To help you find these runes, I give you this. The heart of a living thing.
Wow.
Molded by my hand.
I don't really know if I want it.
With this heart, you will hear many secrets, and it will guide you toward my runes.
What about a brain?
No
That technically makes more sense.
Listen to the heart now, and find another rune.
Alright.
This place is the end of all things.
Helps you locate bone charms and runes even through walls. The heart beats and lights up when you're facing a bone charm. A rune, and it beats faster as you get closer. If you press the left trigger while putting out.
And the beginning. All of time's meaning is here. Neither seconds nor centuries. Someday this place will devour all the lights in the sky.
You mean the stars?
The one who walks here is all things. Cradle songs of comfort and bones gnawed by teeth.
Oh, check it. This is a building. We're walking up the building.
This is the place from which those who dabble in black arts draw their power. And this place is their doom.
Whee! Oh, I'm on the walls.
I can feel a great age ending.
Beat.
This place is the end of all things. And the beginning.
Teleport time. There's what it looks like. Our super-powered rune power. Give me more powers! Yeah! So once you collect some runes, open up a journal, and you get some more powers. So, now, this is the one we need. This allows us to basically become the Predator. We can look through walls and see where people are. We can't turn invisible yet. But look at all these cool other ones. We can get more life. We can get health from stabbing people. Oh. I thought it was related to getting health. Agility is fun. Shadow kill allows me to kill people and they just disappear, which is amazing. I'm really big on possession and bend time. Super fun. We're gonna do dark vision though. Very useful. So we're gonna do that. We can see a tutorial, but screw it.
How you use what I have given you falls upon you, as it has to the others before you.
I love that.
And now I return
He doesn't say be good.
to your world, but know that I will be watching with great interest.
This is just like, imagine like they're basically creating like a god character who fits in kind of the atheistic, agnostic mindset of like where a god just doesn't give a shit but helps people randomly just to see what happens. Very interesting. Hear that interesting sound? That interesting sound are his bone charms. Bone charms provide small supernatural benefits. Locate them by listening for the song they emit. By default, you can activate 3 bone charms, but you can get more. Ouch. For over a year now, I have lived away from the Abbey. Without the company of my overseer brethren and the guidance of my blind sister Zeroka, I has passed with me sleeping in the dens of cupbearers as murderers and worse. The nights have seen prowling through the worst alleys and wretched corners of Dunwall, taking my meals with killers. At times I've ventured beyond the city walls for meeting in forgotten graveyards and the outlying ruins frequented by ill means. My beard has grown long and I wear the weathered clothing and bits of boiled leather favored by the Bottle Street and Hatter gangs, and by these rough men and women who make their trade knifing others in return for coin. My hands have run red with blood, it's true, but I have selected my targets with care, choosing among those criminals and heretics who are not fit to live, executing them justly and using their deaths as a means of building my reputation. So for this trick has allowed me to take my name among my murderous colleagues without taking the lives of the innocent. My goal is singular. I must impress the assassin Dodd in order to get close to him. All the practitioners of black magic we have tracked, none concern the Abbey as much as Dowd. Dowd, or Dodd, It is said that his mother was a witch from one of the archipelagos off the Pandesian coast, taken captive by pirates venturing far from the Isles. According to legend, by the time the ship returned, the captain was dead and the witch controlled the crew, and Dodd was still a shadow in her belly. The earliest stories of a gang killer without mercy moving among shopkeepers and city watch offices of Dunwall like a reaper through wheat. When a period of silence followed, years, we now believe, he spent traveling the Isles, studying anatomy and the occult in the great halls of learning, in hidden basements frequented by fellow dabblers in the forbidden arts. Dowd is even purported to have spent a winter in the Academy of Natural Philosophy itself, and for a time, before a schism developed, he counted the Brigmore witches among his allies. All the while he honed his craft, and it is during this time that we believe he began to consort with the outsider. And in the case of the magic, Brigmore witches stuff, we can play as Dowd in the DLC, and we will. New reports emerged of the dusky skinned assassin paid by the elite to eliminate their rivals in Dunwall and in other major cities across the Isles. Those who saw him had lived numbered in the handful, but all of them reported something strange. He appeared and vanished like smoke from a nearby rooftop. He gestured and a noblewoman was stumbled from a balcony, falling to her doom and the cobblestone below. Most recently, as the new threat of plague has risen in Dunwall, Dowd has been seen leading a gang of men in dark leather, dressed as factory whalers in the vapor masks. They seem loyal beyond comprehension for one so unworthy, leading me to wonder if some magic is dedicated to lowering their minds. Only a month ago, one young girl claims to have come across a strange scene, carrying a bottle of milk home to her crippled brother. She was taking a shortcut through the tailor's district. In a narrow street, she passed beneath a window and heard unusual sounds from within. Pushing aside the ratty curtain, the girl saw an abandoned apartment used by the miscreants for gambling and trading harbor weed. An occult shrine had been erected against the far wall, which she recognized from the teachings given by her local overseer. The man she described as resembling Dowd was kneeling before the shrine, muttering an unseen spirit as if in argument. He took a carving made of pale bone from the altar before him, and the lights all went out in a gush of unclean wind. Quiet as a field mouse, she slipped away, running until she reached her home. There can be no doubt. Dowd is an agent of the outsider and must die, for there is no limit to the evil this man might do. This is my solemn oath and great purpose of my life. Until Dowd is dead and corruption has been purged from the world, I will continue to move among the depraved. Wending my way toward him, I will not drop my guise or don my overseer mask again until breeze no more. Stealing more shit and a fish. Yes! More books! This is the 4th day, month of high cold. Progress continues on the suppression of gang activity in the distillery district, but more slowly than I expected. The ruffians operating there have been cunning, I will grant them that, but it's a matter of time. I see their leaders flogged in public and sent beneath the royal executioner's blade. If I had my way, that mute bastard will be working day and night, removing the heads that need removing. Internally, the Empress does not seem pleased with my investigations. It seems that it is beyond her thinking, against her very nature as a trusting person, to believe that traitors will move among us, but I know they do. They must. No, Jessamine would rather spend her time with the royal protector. At least he's likely to stop any immediate threat to her safety. True, but a strong arm is not what's needed against those who would undermine us. How will Corvo's sword stop a poisoned wine glass or an explosive delivered by courier? It will not. There are many threats around us. Threats require meticulous efforts to police. Young Lady Emmeline is undisciplined. I'm afraid her within Dunwall Tower she receives instruction from the finest tuners known in the Isles, and her mother spoils her and spends most of her time lost in imagination, wasting her time drawing or asking Corvo to teach her to fight with wooden sticks. That girl might rule the Empire someday. Every moment spent at play is a moment wasted. Shoring up security for the main gates leading into Dunwall Tower has been another pet project of late. To think that back in his day, Emperor Caldwin left it open to the public during the day, allowing anyone to come in and go as they please. If it were up to me, I'd seal off access to the streets entirely, but the Empress won't hear it. The waterlocks is much easier to protect, and if it were the only way in the tower, traffic in and out would be greatly reduced. Someday, the wrong person is going to slip in and we'll suffer for it. Mark our words, no amount of security is excessive when it comes to protecting heads of state. The Empress also disapproves my plans of the Sokolov's devices. Sokolov himself has no interest in security, of course, but he's in vain and therefore keen to see his inventions deployed in any fashion. This wall of light he's been tinkering with has promise. In any case, at least I was able to convince the Empress to upgrade the pistols carried by the officers of the watch. Why do I worry so when no one else seems scared? If I ever fall asleep, will it all sink into the ocean? Will the rough times clamber over the walls and fill themselves on our flesh? This is what I see in the same dream several times each month. If I only had more things to say, more authority, I could protect us all. Perhaps I've been working too hard. Dinner and evening conversation with a certain lady of refinement might be in order. Perhaps somewhere nice in the estate district. Ah, the royal spy master coming across as not necessarily doing this because, ooh, more bone charms. Because he's crazy, but because he believes it's the right choice. Ooh, bottle string, and they say You want Chinway of Slackjaw? What was he like when he was young before he got his name? Oh, he's a cool head now, but I weren't always like that in the days before he was boss of the Bottle Street gang. Time was young Slackjaw wasn't a reasonable man. Like most of us, he grew up on the streets, running the pack of ragamuffins, I don't know, and avoiding the law, pinching whatever he needed. Dark-haired and dark-eyed, smoking a pipe at the age of 10. For them born in the brothels of coming from the orphanages, it was either the gangs are working with the mud larks, and no one wants that. Some got pressed in the Navy or put down in the mines run by the Pendleton or Boyle families. Pendleton, we work with that guy. As hard as it was in the streets, as hungry as we all got, at least we was free. By the time we weren't little uns anymore, Slackjaw was one to watch, usually calling the shots while we took down the farmer's cart or sidewalk street vendor. He'd come up with a plan, gives everyone a part to play, and decide on the split. Most of us just went along because we learned fast that we made out better like that. More food, more coin, plus none of us wanted to deal with Slackjaw when he was in a rage. He worked on a couple of big jobs with Black Sally across town, and that was enough to get the attention of the other bosses. He wasn't just a street kid anymore, now he's up-and-comer, which meant trouble. Another guy who fancied himself as much was Mike the Fish. He was working his way up, running the protection racket among the factory women. One fine evening, we're all taking in a body show in the theater house. Mike the Fish. Oh, man. The thing went away. Mike the... Come back. Come back. Mike the Fish. Hen his lot are there, and a cheap seats too, just down an aisle from us. Mike gets a wild idea. He wasn't big on planning. Throws a heavy ceramic spittoon at Slickjaw. Hits him square in the face and breaks his jaw. We look to see if there's gonna be a blood brawl, but Slackjaw just points at the door. We all leave, and Mike laughing at our backs. Waking up the next day without telling us why, Slackjaw missions for us to follow. Still can't say a word, so we just come along. We stop at the docks and Slackjaw buys, actually pays coin for it, a heavy chain covered in hooks. It's for fishing in the deep, something you'd attach to a long line off the side of a ship. It's about 4 feet, made of thick links, and there are shark hooks coming off of it at different angles. Slackjaw's got that thing wrapped around his left arm, dangling on his side. Not sure he knew where Mike the Fish was staying. But when we reach this girl's house, Slackjaw throws a bottle through the window just like that. It's almost noon. There's a bunch of screaming inside, and Mike pokes his head out, looking wide-eyed and baffled. We see Slackjaw out in the street. A look comes over his face that still gives me the willies. Pure murder. Mike comes out of the side door, bellowing like a blood ox, holding a cleaver, heading straight for Slackjaw. When they come together in the street, Slackjaw spins, and the shark hooks bite deep into Mike's arm and shoulder. He screams, but Slackjaw holds onto the chain. He's standing there with his jaw broken, clenched tight, and the chain wrapped around his left arm. Hooks sunk into the Mike the Fish, just knifing him as fast as he can. Mike couldn't fight very well, hooked like that in his left hand, but he was a big guy, and it took a lot of stabbing before he went to his knees. Everyone was cheering at first, but then we all went quiet, just kept going and going, until finally it was just Mike the Fish blubbering and crying like a baby and the sound of Slackjaw's knife. When it was over, and here's the brilliant part, Slackjaw took out a note and stuck it to Mike's face with a nail. It just said, "If you want a job, come to Bottle Street." Slackjaw didn't talk right for a couple months, but word spread fast. By the end of the year, once we had a sizable gang going, he sent out letters to the other bosses telling them that he was running a brand new crew over at Bottle Street. Most of them laughed or beat up the guys who delivered the letters. Green-eyed Trish even came back missing a thumb. But apparently Slackjaw was expecting that kind of reaction and had a backup plan. A week later, 4 of the bosses were dead. Seemed like a series of unfortunate events, but everyone knew better. One shot dead by the watch while standing in the middle of a meat market, another slipping and falling into the water, out cold. One of the older bosses found in bed with his belly opened wide and Tivian Paris stuffed into his mouth. Still not sure what that went, but Sheila Barnesworth was found bubbling in a cauldron. Oh, hot wax. Slackjaw sent out another set of letters, offers to the underbosses telling them they'd be treated fair as peers. He even sent Green-eyed Trish with one of the letters. All of the underbosses accepted. After spilling the guts of his main competition, Slackjaw went for stabilizing his business real neat-like, calling in favors, smoothing things over, giving everyone a little bit of corn or drink as a bonus, showing that he could be like us boss. Well, everything got quiet, which always makes the boys of the City Watch nervous, of course. Word went out to the Royal Spy Master Snitches, the responsible citizens group they called themselves, telling everyone working in a shop or sweeping off the front steps of their homes to keep watchful eyes for Slackjaw and his men, trying to suss out what they were up to and what had just happened. But Slackjaw ain't stupid. He greased a few palms among the shopkeepers in the watch too, telling them he was down to stay and that things would be run properly from now on. Without so much blood, he was finally a real boss, ready to settle into the business of moving whiskey, running the hound fights, and offering up the ladies and gentlemen of the night, if you take my meaning. Then the plague came. At first, it seemed like a good thing. A few people got sick, and everyone wanted to buy those potions from Sokolov and Piero. Health elixir or spiritual remedy, they called them. Slackjaw told me he saw an opportunity. We already had an old whiskey factory with a still where we could water the stuff down and sell it discounted. Doing the same with Sokolov's elixir was a smart plan. Pretty soon, everybody in the slums was sick, and the business was good. But after a while, there were so many people down with the plague that everyone got scared. Everybody started acting real nasty, and everything fell apart. When people can't work, they don't have the corn for elixir, watered down or pure. When the Empress died, it seemed like Dunwall would slide in the void. Spymaster's burrows took over the Watch, started using all that new Sokolov technologies, watchtowers, tall boys, and them arc pylons. They put a wall of light across the Clevering Buller and cracked down hard. The Slackjaw surprises again. Instead of leaving town on a boot bound for Marley or one of the other isles, he stayed and kept it all together. We get as much elixir to fight out the plague as the City Watch, with their taxes and rations, and that's kept us alive so far. An interesting person, I'd say. Can't say if I think he's a good guy or not. Oh, Granny Rags. God, you know what? We're going to start this one next time because, man, this is taking a lot of reading today. Oh, look, this is open now. And we're going to go downstairs. Also, check it. There's a rune over there. And check it. We're going to go get this rune. But, man. God, we're going to read Granny's thing in a second. Books. Journal of Granny Rags. So, dudes, if you liked what you saw, please leave a like. You want to see more, subscribe. And, of course, when the ground rises to reach feet, windows reach back in the sun, show 1,066 face dudes. Thank you so much for watching. It's a real joy to have you here, and I really appreciate it. And let me know, as well, what you think about all the talking and the reading and stuff. This. Because if you want me to skip it or just show you it so you can read it on your own, let me know. Alright, dudes. See you later. Bye. Woo! I can play guitar. Outro, outro, please like an outro, 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 check it out, you can subscribe, outro, outro, my voice is quiet for dramatic effect, outro, none of my videos have me sing, you're welcome.